Hey everybody, it's Amy Head with New Perspectives for Life in Marietta, Georgia. Today is Thursday, July 10th, 2014. I hope you are doing well where you are this week and having a great week. I just got back yesterday from spending, 5 days and 4 nights with 30 middle school and high school girls and boys from our church and several other adults as chaperones for the youth camp that our youth go to each year. This year we were in the mountains of North Carolina at camp, and we had a great week. There was a lot going on, a lot of structured activities, a lot of fun, a lot of getting to know the kids and the adults better, and we just had a really great time. So kind of getting back in the swing of things today, but also reflecting on the last several days of that retreat with them. And I wanted to share with you a thought that I kind of came away with from that retreat with those teenagers this week. And that is this. The theme of the retreat that these kids and us chaperones were on this week was about who we are, about being different aspects of who we are in our lives. And the kids were had studies on this and activities around it, but the focus was really on being rather than doing. It was more about who you are rather than what you do, and the choices that we make in terms of who we are going to be in our lives. And I thought that was really good because, I was thinking about this. When you first meet an adult, let's say at a networking event or at some social event or at your child's school, maybe at an event going on there, one of the first questions we ask somebody is, "Oh, nice to meet you. What do you do?" And then we carry the conversation from there. So we are very focused as adults on what we do. And for teenagers, we don't probably ask that question right away because it's kind of already assumed if they're a teenager, probably what they do is they are a student in school, or if they're an older teen, maybe they work part-time, or maybe they're in college and they are supporting themselves through working there, or maybe they're just a college student. We kind of already know what they do if they're younger than an adult age, if they're a teenager, especially if they're middle school or high school. So we don't really meet them and say, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you. What do you do?" We don't probably ask that because we already know. We already have an idea. But for adults, that's one of the first things we say, "Oh, nice to meet you. What do you do?" And it started making me think about this idea that, as adults, when we move from being a teenager to being an adult, we start to really kind of become conditioned towards defining ourselves by what we do in our lives or with our lives. Maybe with our profession, maybe with our activities. What we do starts to become a big part of the definition of who we are. Whereas on this retreat this week, the whole focus was on being and who these kids are choosing to be. And that's a huge difference because who they are is much more internal than what they do. And it's the same for us, but I feel like as adults sometimes we lose that idea that who we are and what we do is sort of the same. What do you do? Well, I'm a counselor. Okay, well, so that must be I am a counselor. That's who I am. That's what makes me up. That's what I do. But that doesn't really say much about who I am. It just says what I do, right? So if I stop to think, well, who am I? What am I? When I just exist and I'm just being, who am I? Apart from my defined role as a counselor or as a parent or as a colleague, right? So these kids this week were really focused on who they are, the choices they're going to make in terms of integrity, commitments, loyalties, belief systems, just really what makes them tick. So I thought that's kind of a good insight for us to be thinking about as adults. Who are you? Who are we? Are we defined completely and simply by what we do? Or is there more to us than that? And if there is more to us, what is it? Who are you? What makes you you? Because a lot of times as an adult, if we lose our job, get laid off, something goes wrong at work, if we have issues with our kids and our parenting is challenged, or we're not feeling like we're effective in that, or in our marital relationship, or in these things that we are doing, we tend to devalue who we are as those things that we are doing aren't playing out the way we would want them to. But the truth is, we are so much more than what we define ourselves by what we're doing. And I think it's important to kind of come back to that and take some time to kind of step away from what we do each and every day in our lives and really kind of think about, who are we within our lives? Who are we? Who are you? Who do you want to be? Are we the people? Are you the person that you want to be? If so, perfect. That's great. Keep being that person. If not, what's stopping you? What's holding you back? What's keeping you from being the person that you really and truly want to be? I hope that's helpful for you this week as you're going through the week, thinking about all the things that you're doing, being so busy and involved, to just take a step back and take a moment to sort of focus on and honor who you are. And if there's an opportunity to look at, maybe you're not able to be who you really want to be right now, maybe seeing if there's some ways to make that happen in your life. Thanks so much for joining me this week. Amy Head, New Perspectives for Life in Marietta, Georgia. I hope you have a great start to the weekend tomorrow and a great start to next week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.